Hey, welcome back to Tammy Tell Me True. It's been a few weeks. It's good to be back. So as you all know, I have my surgery date finally. It's December 15th. That's about 3 weeks away. And tonight I want to go over chicken broth and chicken bouillon because, actually for a couple of reasons. First of all, the 2 days prior and the 2 days after the surgery, we can only have clear liquids. So that's one of the things you can have. But I also actually like chicken broth as an alternative to having a hot cup of tea, although I do love my tea. But sometimes you get burned out and you want something else, and it's just kind of a nice thing to have a nice warm mug of broth or bouillon, especially in the fall and the winter. So I wanted to really get into some of these broths because sometimes you'll want it, I guess, when you have bariatric surgery for some of your protein intake, but then sometimes it's nice to just have a nice warm cup of good broth. So we're going to go over some of those today and review them. Also, Verna, as you know, had her surgery, and she's actually still on clear proteins or clear liquids rather, because she's had a little bit of a setback with being a little bit ill with what we thought was pneumonia, but was a hematoma and all of that jazz. So I just want to review them and see what we've got and what's good, okay? First we have Celebrate, their chicken soup, and Unjury, which a lot of people know about. And then here are some bone broths. There's this Kettle and Fire, which is highly recommended, Kitchen Basics bone broth, and then good old Swanson's chicken bone broth, which someone on a support group recommended, so let's taste it. And last but not least, we have good old Norway Bullion. I feel like I'm on the commercial for Norway Bullion. A lot of you probably know about Norway Bullion. It's the best. To me, it's one of the better of the bouillons. It's really delicious. I've always had bouillon. I use it for cooking, of course, but also it's really good to drink as a hot drink. Especially, I've had a lot of colonoscopies, and so I've always used this. But one of the major drawbacks is it's 1,030 milligrams of sodium. That's a lot of sodium, and I have to watch my sodium because I have high blood pressure. So, adding some collagen protein or a protein powder to this is always a go-to for me. But again, I'm trying to watch that sodium, so that might not be the best choice for me. So I'm not going to taste it either because I already know what that tastes like. It's very delicious, but I'm trying to find something that's a little healthier than that. So we're going to start with bone broth. Now, bone broth, as you know, is all the rage. It's become really popular in the last few years. It's very healthy. It naturally has a lot more protein because it's steeping in the bones, I guess, and there's the collagen from the bones. So it's a really good choice. And the thing, again, back to the sodium, we have these two products, which I've never tried any of these actually. But the soups themselves, when you buy stuff in a packet, when you buy stuff that's prefabbed as a soup, again, with the sodium, right? So this is Celebrate, which we're going to try in a minute. It has 800 milligrams. And then this Unjury one, which is very popular, has 770. That's a lot of sodium. But let's start with these bone broths because I'm really curious. My brother last year, he was on a diet where he was drinking bone broth as his snack. The ones I tried, I didn't like very much. I tried beef and I don't know, they just tasted gamey to me, but I've heard that these are 3 of the better ones. There's a couple others that I couldn't get my hands on, but for now, let's try these, okay? So let's try, this is Swanson. Now, I preheated, I got all of this ready, preheated them. I have my little tasting mugs. Swanson, they make an organic version of this. I couldn't get one today, but this was very highly recommended by a few people in one of the bariatric support groups that I'm on Facebook. So I'm really interested to taste this one. So cheers. Oh yeah, that's good. Tastes like chicken soup without anything in it. Very good. And again, these have like no GMOs, no antibiotics. They're all natural things, okay? Now, one little trick I learned from doing the protein drinks last time was to cleanse my palate in between tastings, especially with soups and salt and things like that. A little applesauce. So the next one is this Kitchen Basics one. And again, also recommended. Still pretty clear. This one was like really light. Check it out. Check the difference. We're getting a little darker as we go here. So let's taste this. It's okay. It tastes more like something I'd want to cook with than maybe to sip on, but let's do another.
that's sort of like the next favorite, not really a favorite yet. Again, palate cleanser, little baby food bites. Now this one, Kettle and Fire, was very recommended. I also want to point out price point. I'll list these and give you prices, but this one was expensive. It was like $7 or $8 for this little box. I mean, this is like 16 ounces, which is a lot of money. And I'm not going to taste it today, but it also comes in a mushroom chicken broth, which I bet is very good. But again, this is just the classic chicken bone broth for Kettle and Fire. And look at that one. That's like darker and richer. So let's give that a shot. Yep, it's good. That one tastes, it's like it has vegetables in it or something. It's got more going on than just the chicken, which I like. And again, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but the sodium content in all of the bone broths is much less. It's about, I think it was like 330, like it's in the mid 300s of milligrams of sodium, which is much, much better than the higher, you know, these soups and stuff. So something really to keep in mind. Now let's taste. Now these are, I'm very curious about. Now this is the Celebrate. Celebrate are some of, I really like some of their products. I boiled water here and got these ready ahead of time. And this one mixed up really nice. It doesn't look clear. I don't know if you can see that, but maybe it's not necessarily good for the clear part, but it's still good for nutrition. And again, now these have higher protein. This one has 24 grams of protein and this one has 21 grams of protein. So these are kind of also your protein intake part of the day, so to speak. Yeah, this one's good. Now this has been sitting here for a few minutes and I still am tasting like the powder kind of, like it still tastes kind of gritty, which is a little weird, but, and again, saltier. Yeah, saltier. So, because they have a lot of sodium in them. Now let's try this one. So this is the Unjury. Unjury is the one that a lot of people talk about, say it's great. So this is weird. I don't know if you can see this, but there's like, here, there's like still chunks. I wonder why that's happening. You know, Verna told me she got a packet when she left the hospital that had the Unjury in it. And she said that it got clumpy like that. And I didn't know what, I thought it was maybe that she didn't mix it because she had also put some protein powder in, I think. But that's weird. If anyone knows why that's happening, please comment. Or I'll ask the Unjury website myself. Why is your chicken soup clumping? But again, this one was taste-wise highly recommended. I'm trying not to get these clumps. Let's taste it. So I don't like the grittiness. Like, I don't know why it's clumping like that. And we're not gonna do outtakes here. This is it. This is the real deal. So I'm telling you true. This is Tammy telling me true. So I'm telling you like it is. All right, well, that's weird, but it's okay. These were okay, didn't like the grit. And again, these are a little pricier because you're buying them from the bariatric websites. I have to say, this was my least, this was my least, like, you know, the one I liked the least. It was okay, it just tasted, again, something like more like what I'd cook with. And then I think this was my favorite. So then this would be my next favorite. And then this was the favorite. And this is way cost effective because this is, you know, like $3 and change, I think. I'll make sure I post it. But, and it comes in the organic form. I just wasn't able to get my hands on it. I do like to try to buy organic, especially with poultry and beef because of the pesticides and antibiotics and all this stuff. Although this says no antibiotics. And it was really, really tasty. This one was tasty. Not as good. And these didn't work for me. Oh no. All right, well then, there you have it. Thank you for tuning in. It's good to be back, and it's getting close to my date, so we're really gonna be gearing up here. Thank you, and we will see you next time. Okay, this is like a little additional footnote after the credits run. So after I just finished taping that for you, I took a moment to read the instructions carefully because I didn't. And apparently you're only supposed to use water that is 140 degrees in temperature. And as you probably know, because you're all science nerds like me, water boils at 212 degrees, and that's the water that I use. So that could very likely be why it clumped. And so I'm going to try these separately. I only have one of these today, so I'm going to get more of them and give them a fair shot at the proper temperature at another time. So thanks.